Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to another Apex Legends Season 3 tips video. Since the season came out, I've been putting in a load of time into the game to come up with some of the biggest and best tips that will really make a difference to your gameplay in Apex Legends Season 3. These are mainly tips you can start using straight away, and from what I've seen, the game's meta has been really shaken up since Season 2, so there's a lot of things that you can really take advantage of to help you get as many wins as possible. So let's get into those 10 tips that are instantly going to make you a better Apex Legends player. The first thing you'll want to start doing in Apex Legends Season 3 is loot smarter. Now, what I mean by this is that there are so many easy ways for you to get your hands on high tier loot, which is going to make the world of difference on being able to win more gunfights. Therefore, help you get more kills, and that means you'll end up getting more wins. In Apex Legends Season 3, Respawn have added a whole load of new ways to get some high tier loot. First of all, starting with these cargo drones. These cargo drones fly around the map, and the color you shoot them down on will give you that tier of loot. Shoot it when it's gold and you'll get at least one bit of legendary level 4 gear. There's even been a couple of occasions that I've got 2 in 1. But rather than shooting the actual cargo to make it drop, you can hit the drone on top with a single bullet for it to instantly fall, rather than having to do around 100 damage to the ball, which can help make it a lot easier to time the cargo to drop on legendary. But the creme de la creme of getting some amazing loot on the brand new map World's Edge is through the loot vaults. There are 3 on the map in total: here, here, and here. These vaults will pretty much kit you fully out in legendary gear, as well as some level 3 weapon attachments. You'll need a vault key to open them, and you can tell when a cargo drone has one because some of the colored panes will be red. If you can, prioritize getting these, especially early game. The longer a game goes on, the less likely you'll be able to reach one of the vaults within the zone, or it will likely have already been looted. Also, if you like, you can always camp one of the vaults out and wait for an enemy team to have done all the hard work for you. But if you want the best loot in the game, try shoot down as many drones as you can. Most named areas on a map will have 1 or 2 floating around. Apex Legends Season 3 also brought with it a brand new weapon, the charge rifle. This thing is ridiculously overpowered, even since the gun got nerfed. It uses 3 energy ammo to fire, with the base clip having 3 shots in it, with a level 3 energy mag allowing you to have 6 shots between reloads. There is practically no recoil to this weapon, and to get the most out of it, you'll want to be using the long range sniper scopes like the 6x or the 4 to 8x. At 250 meters, it'll do 90 damage if you land the damage ticks from the beam and the final explosive shot, and then at 400 meters, it'll do 60 damage, so you can't just drop people across the entire map anymore. Personally, I found the 6x works best, as it's super easy to track targets with a 3 scope sensitivity on your controller. But there's almost no situation in Season 3 where, if you come across the charge rifle, it shouldn't be one of your 2 weapons. Because the World's Edge map has such long sight lines, the charge rifle just suits it perfectly, whether you're taking shots at a fresh team or trying to third party. Which brings me on to my next tip for Apex Legends Season 3, and it's about weapon combinations. This season, it's a lot more important to have one weapon that is very effective at medium to long range, such as the charge rifle, G7 scout, longbow, or the triple take, and then a gun for close to medium range, which could be something like a flatline, R301, or R99. In Seasons 1 and 2, you could get away with having all close range automatic weapons if you played super aggressively, as there were usually pathways to keep sightlines short, so you couldn't get picked off by snipers, and every fight would be at pretty close range. In Season 3 and on World's Edge, that just isn't at all possible. The distance that you're going to be coming up against enemies is going to constantly be changing, even mid gunfights, as you'll go from fighting across larger areas of open land to inside buildings or around giant rocks. I found if I have like a charge rifle and G7 scout, which is amazing this season by the way, I'll get destroyed the second the circle starts getting smaller. I may be able to comfortably pick up kills at range, but the second a team gets close, I'm almost hopeless. So get a nice balance between your guns. If you've got a sniper of some sort, make sure you pick up a shotgun or something automatic, and you'll instantly see an improvement in your game. With Crypto being added as the new legend in Apex Legends Season 3, there's a bunch of things that you need to know to take advantage of to consistently come out on top when you come up against him or end up using him. First of all, if you get caught by the EMP from Crypto's ult and are quick enough, you can drop your shield and pick it back up once the EMP has gone off to completely avoid any damage. This takes some getting used to, but is an easy way to avoid taking that 50 damage, which could make all the difference. Also, make sure to shoot the drone down if you've been detected, which you'll be able to tell if a notification pops up on your screen. You should be able to hear which direction the drone is coming from, and it's also obvious in the sky as it has a large glow around it and will take just one bullet to take it out. Which brings me onto my next tip for Apex Legends Season 3 is the fact that Crypto is one of the best support legends in the game if used correctly. His drone has a number of uses other than just detecting enemy squads. You'll be able to tell if and how many enemy squads are within 200 meters of your position when using the drone by looking at the banners around the map. This is going to be especially useful in ranked, especially at the higher levels where you're trying to avoid enemy squads as much as possible to get yourself into the top 5 squads. You can also place the drone in spots where it's difficult to shoot before attacking an enemy team in a building, for example, where you can then activate Crypto's ult just before you push in without controlling the drone. And if for some reason your teammates run off and get themselves killed, where usually it'd be far too dangerous to run in and collect their banners, you can use Crypto's drone to fly in and grab them, meaning you can get your teammates spawned back in, increasing your chance of winning the match in the end. Overall, he's one of the best support characters in the game right now. Just make sure when you go to use your drone that you put yourself in some cover and not just stand in the middle of the open. From the worst legend in the game to, in my opinion, the best legend, as he's now an absolute all-round unit. This also kind of hurts me to include in this video because I still don't see that many players maining Gibraltar because of his previous reputation. In Season 3, with gunfights being now more often than not at range, you're going to take advantage of his gun shield, which gives you an extra 75 health, as well as absorbing all the damage from the final bullet that breaks the shield, which against slower firing, higher powered weapons such as snipers like the longbow can be quite high, which is what you'll most likely be hit by in a long distance gunfight. Also, make sure you position yourself behind cover as much as possible, minimizing the negative part of Gibraltar, which is his large hitbox. In Season 3, his dome shield is now even more powerful, with you gaining the ability, as well as your teammates, to heal 25% quicker when inside of it. This has single-handedly helped me win more games of Apex Legends than any other ability in the game. You can also throw his ult further than in previous seasons, perfect for getting enemies in the open or to push them towards areas of the map that have less cover. Also, when playing as Gibraltar, get used to going in and out of your dome shield. If used correctly, this can help you win 3 versus 1 fights on a fairly regular basis, where normally you would stand no chance at all. You can also use the dome shield to cover your back as you run away to reposition. Also, to take full advantage of Gibraltar's gun shield, make sure you're using weapons that need you to aim down sights as much as possible, like a G7 Scout or Flatline with a level 3 mag. If you're firing from the hip, you're losing the benefit of that extra load of health the gun shield provides you. So the Peacekeeper or Mastiff, for example, may not be the best weapons for Gibraltar. He is hands down the best legend in Apex Legends right now, so don't be put off from his past reputation. If you want me to, let me know down in the comments if you want me to do a more detailed guide on how to use Gibraltar now, because I've been averaging around a 25% win rate with him when playing solo, which I'm pretty damn proud of. There's also been an update to the settings in Apex Legends, which now allows you to customize the sensitivities for specific weapon scopes and not just your overall aim down sight sensitivity. I'll be doing an updated best settings video for console players soon, but what you'll want to do is keep all scopes up to 3 times as 1 sensitivity lower than your traditional look sensitivity. I have a 3 look sensitivity, for example, so my 1 times optic iron sights, 2x optic, and 3x optic are all set to 2 aim down sight sensitivity. Then I make all other scopes the same as my default look sensitivity. I found this helps you control snipers like that seriously powerful charge rifle at a distance so much easier, especially as you'll want to be trying to track your targets as much as you possibly can. Then that lower sensitivity on your more short range optics allows you to really maximize your accuracy and land those all-important shots to pick up as many kills as you can. So make sure you adjust your scope sensitivities to suit you best in Apex Legends Season 3. Some of the biggest tips I can give you to help you out in Apex Legends Season 3 is with what are the best weapons and gear to use, so you know exactly what you want in your loadout to increase your chance of winning. First of all, Season 3 brought with it a new legendary hop-up called Anvil's Receiver, which goes on the R301 and the flatline. It is hands down better to have on the flatline, as it effectively turns it into a more accurate long-range wingman and can absolutely destroy enemies at medium range, especially if you land those headshots. To take advantage of it, all you need to do is make sure to switch over to single fire for that additional damage. But when enemies are pushing you at close range, make sure to switch back over to automatic. It makes it an incredible all-round weapon, which everyone should definitely take advantage of if the opportunity presents itself. The G7 Scout is now also an absolute monster, dealing 34 damage a bullet with a pretty high rate of fire. This is one of the best base weapons in the game right now, second to the charge rifle, especially on the World's Edge map, and if you're using Gibraltar. So try use this when you can, and you'll find yourself coming out on top against any other automatic weapon in the game in those mid-range gunfights. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the double tap attachment at medium range, so make sure you use single shot when they're at a distance, then take advantage of that burst when they get a bit closer if you don't have an automatic weapon as a secondary. Season 3 has also changed the fast heal perk, taking it away from the backpack and adding it to the armor, which makes complete sense but should also change how you approach gunfights. If you're in a fight with someone with gold armor, there's no point just taking pot shots at a distance that they can quickly heal. Also, if they run away from you, be aware that they can use a full shield in 2.5 seconds. Make sure you don't get baited into a position where you can easily be killed. Try and take players with gold shields down quickly so they don't get a chance to use that fast heal perk. Also, everyone now automatically has the Executioner perk, which used to be on gold armor. So if you pull off an execution, it will fully recharge your shields. The backpack now has a new perk called Guardian Angel, which means anyone you res comes back with more health and shields, including yourself if you also have a gold knockdown shield and manage to self-res, which is pretty nice. So you may have noticed from the tips in this video, long-range weapons and especially snipers are pretty dominant in Apex Legends Season 3. So what you may want to do is land on this part of the map, which I like to call Sniper's Ridge, which has guaranteed snipers. This means you can pretty much start every game with a charge rifle if you really want to, which could be the perfect way to start a high kill game. Be warned though, you're likely to run into a couple of other players, which could lead to you being taken down if someone beats you to the loot, as there isn't that much of it here compared to other areas of the map. And last but not least, we have the train, one of the biggest features of the new map, and can also leave you pretty kitted out if you take advantage of it. There is guaranteed level 3 gear on the train from the loot bins, but it is also a player magnet. So if you decide to go for it, make sure to either land at the front or back where you can easily bail out if you don't manage to get any loot. Also, it means there's no risk of you getting shot from behind at the start of a game, as you can really focus on the corridor of enemies that you'll come up against. You can also stop the train at the front, and when it pulls into stations, loot bins will also come out of the ground for some additional loot if you decide to stay on it. Also, try and learn the train's route so you know when to take advantage of it when you're moving in with the zone or trying to get around the map. You never know, it can make all the difference. But there we have it. 10 of my biggest tips and tricks I have so far in Apex Legends Season 3. I'll be having a load more Apex Legends Season 3 content coming out this week as I'm back from my round-the-world filming trip that I was on for my job at Xbox. So let me know what you think down in the comments below and share any other tips that you have, and subscribe if you're new for more Apex Legends content, and I'll see you guys next time.